Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? It is January 1st, 2025. That's weird. And we're starting the new year with a member stream. I see faces. I see Joe Dog, Lord Thoth, Vulcan Lives. How's it going? Madhouse Retro Gaming, D Bud Martin, Superior Knob. Some of the other guys who are content on the panel. So we'll be saying their names shortly on the Rumble side as well. Madhouse Retro is already hanging out there. Hell yeah. Awesome. So how you all doing? It's good to see you all here alive. Hopefully not many of you are overly hungover. Hopefully some of you are just saying, you know what? I got by with a breeze. I got by with a breeze. You know what? A breeze is good. I think a breeze is good. What do you think about breezes, Lester?
When it's during a warm or hot weather, sure.
How you doing, sir?
Can't complain. We're
Okay.
vacationing at my folks for the last week
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
change. So
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of productivity, a little bit of leisure. So I, keep,
Mm-hmm.
just taking it easy. Not too. I'm. I've been telling a lot of my old high school friends I'm such a bad planner, given what's been going on over the last number of months with my
Mm-hmm.
recovery, all that jazz.
Yeah, you've had quite the
Keep
journey,
forget,
my dude.
yeah, and I keep forgetting to tell them like when I'm in town. Hey, by the way, sorry man, I'm bad at this.
it
Let me hang out.
it
So
happens.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
when you're trying to keep up with your own life, and then you have our people who have their own lives, and then you're trying to like get them all to connect. Trust me, I get it. I know where it comes from. There's people who I've known for a decade or longer, and it's tough for us to get on the same schedule, just being in the same room. It's just one of those things, man. But just keep at it. And eventually, the stars will align, and you'll not just have
yeah.
the YouTube circle of people, but you'll have your in-person circle as well.
No, it's just like my parents asked me, "Well, what do you want to do?" I don't know. I'm past the nightlife phase. I think the last time my buddies and I got together, we just hung out at bars and shot the breeze. It's kind of like I guess it's a lot in life when you're older, and
Mm-hmm.
then would love to see a movie, but then don't know what movie to see. Like
Well, we
I
could talk about
probably
that
watch.
tonight.
Yeah, I would think Nosferatu would be a movie I would see by myself. I would
Mm-hmm.
unless I find a nice female companion who would be down for a good horror flick. At least that's how it was built to me, or that's how it comes across.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
No, I agree. There's not a
parents are
sh-
all about the Netflix.
there's not a shortage of them out there who don't want to see it, especially when it comes to vampires. They're basically built for them, my dude. But great to see you. Let's bring in our other gentleman here. Mr. Deleted Scenes is back, and he's sporting a nice breezy goatee as well.
Yes, I got a little lazy with the whiskers, and people liked what they were seeing, so I thought, what the hell? I'll just grow this puppy out, see where it goes.
Nice. Oh, good to see that you're here once more. And like Lester, Happy New Year to you guys. And hopefully things are going great. And I know Deleted Scenes has seen some flicks, and hopefully we can help our boy Lester here with some solid recommending. Maybe who knows? Maybe you, Steven, caught something that we don't know about. We'll get to that. It's gonna be great. So let's bring in our other guy here because he's here ever so patiently. Mr. Madhouse Retro. How are you, sir? Oh, no, he's just waving.
Good.
He's
How are
just,
you
oh,
guys?
oh, okay. I was
Hang
like,
on.
oh, maybe he's got mic issues. No, 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 no. How you doing?
I'm okay. Living
Okay.
life.
Okay.
Surviving.
I was like, that's quite a mighty pause there. Okay, okay. No, Happy New Year to you, sir. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
I think I'm not hearing you on the stream.
Do you want to come back out and come back in? Because you should be on. The guys, it seems like Lester and Steven both hear me just fine. It's like the chat does too, and we got 13 here. So I think it's safe to say that they do hear me. So otherwise,
Yeah, I can.
go ahead.
No, I can hear you on the stream. I can't hear you in
On Streamlab.
the Streamlabs thing.
Okay. What I saw you had another
Yeah.
open tab. Maybe you should keep it open just from the stream and not on sorry, from the Streamlab and not the YouTube stream tab. That's your best way of not having the delay. Yeah. See, what's up, Superman? Was no green rocks. Yeah. If you're listening from the stream side, you're gonna hear it super delayed. So yeah, keep it from the stream and not YouTube. That'll probably be your best way of going about it. Anyways, I saw a few of our faces. I saw Mr. Juggalo DC. How you doing, sir? I see you there. Jonathan Conroy, Davina Duckworth. Nice to see you guys here. So I guess we'll just break off the ice right away with Nosferatu. Did you see it, Stephen?
Not yet.
You did not.
I'm hoping to hear later on in the week, hopefully.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
I did see it. I did see it with my girlfriend. We saw it a few nights ago, and I thought it was really good. Now, I'm not gonna go be one of those guys who say no, it's a 10 out of 10. Like, because to me, like that time to me is the ultimate decider on stuff like that. Because you gotta see it for rewatch as well, age as well. But I really did enjoy it. I'll say that I enjoyed it. And if you're a fan of Robert Eggers, The Lighthouse, I thought was great. That was my gateway to him. And I really liked that movie. The Northman was really good too. It's got his style. It's got definitely the Eggers tropes, while also being his own gothic movie with Nosferatu. And so I feel like I could talk about this confidently without giving stuff away. Future black metal bands are definitely going to take a lot of imagery from this movie and make it their future album covers for the next 10 years. I can already see it now, especially with all the scenery of the forests and the cities. A lot of great performances across the board. And I like that we actually have a Dracula who has a mustache, which to me doesn't really count as a spoiler. I like it because if anyone who knows their Dracula knows the very earliest iterations of Vlad the Impaler, he's got a mustache. So I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. And it was I heard it was 2 hours and 13 minutes. I actually thought it was like hour and 45, hour and 50, which to me that's a good thing. I think that's a real good thing if it doesn't feel like 2:13. And I guess I wasn't bugged by it. My only complaint, not involved in the movie, dude, there was 22 minutes of previews.
Those are the worst.
20. I kept track. I timed it. And I was able to shut my timer off right before the actual movie started. But holy crud. I was like, dude, how many more previews do you have to play? Like, granted, there are stuff that I saw that looked pretty good. And like, obviously we saw that trailer for 28 Years Later, which it's starting to grow on me. I wasn't too sure at first, but that trailer is growing on me. And there was some other stuff that came out that looked cool, but it was just way too much of it. Way too much.
Were some of those previews outside of what had been teased by various YouTube outlets? I think you were part of the panel in Midnight's Edge After Dark. They were showing that I guess it's a commonly released teaser about what's coming up in 25 or this year.
We did do a show on that. Yeah, you're right. We did do a show on that. The only trailer that we saw from that was 28 Years Later, but they didn't have any other like big movie. They show off a bunch of trailers for a bunch of smaller stuff, which I personally have no problem with. I think that's fine. You want to have smaller things out there to get people say, hey, look, there's original stuff coming out there. It was definitely like dominantly horror oriented. It looks like it's more on like the thriller side of things, which I think is great too. It shows you there's a wide array of horror. Because if you think about horror as a genre, it kind of is like its own category of movies because you can have psychological, you can have thriller, you can have supernatural. Obviously, you could have slasher. And you can have like the super classic style as well. So horror, like it's one of those things where kind of like when you think of like if you want to use it in comic book terms, in DC Comics, the Green Lantern Corps is almost like its own universe with how rich the characters are. Horror, you could play the same logic. Horror is almost like its own beast. You have so many different subgenres you can work off of, and yet it could still all be horror. So I do feel like, even though it's not my go-to genre, I appreciate that you can pull off a lot with that type of genre. So the things that I do enjoy, I really definitely do appreciate it. And luckily, even though I'm not a remake guy, once in a while there's an exception. One of my other ones is The Thing from John Carpenter. I think we can all be on agreement with that. I mean, when you have Kurt Russell involved, I mean, it's enough said. And it's John Carpenter as well. And those two work very well together.
Yeah, they did a lot of good movies.
Yeah. And it's a great combination. They get each other. And Carpenter's good at that stuff. I mean, and he's covered different aspects of horror if you think about it. I mean, The Thing is very different from Halloween. And even though it ain't a full-on, I wouldn't call it a horror movie, but there's definitely some dark, scary aspects in They Live. You could say aspects of it can be, I guess you could say maybe construed as horror to a point because, well, a lot of it we're seeing happen in real life today, and it's kind of horrific in a way. So I think we can apply a little bit of that logic with They Live. What's up, Mars Monkey Max? I see DJ Play Nice. Man, we've got the bodies dropping in here. Thank you, guys. I love to see it. It seems like everyone's just chilling out. Brad Young as well. Hell yeah, dudes. But yeah, by all means, seriously, like Lester, fine. You should have no problem finding a lady to take to see Nosferatu. Lure her in with one of the coffins from AMC. They got the coffin with the popcorn bins. It's a coffin. I think the I don't know if you guys got Regal in your ears. They're doing like freaking blankets. Nosferatu. I had to like, hey, want to go out and get a Nosferatu blanket? You could do that. You can absolutely do that. So yeah, Nosferatu, good. See it if you can right away. If not, no. Eventually, it's gonna hit streaming. Eventually, it's going to because what doesn't hit streaming nowadays. Have any of you guys caught Landman from Billy Bob Thornton?
I've heard the buzz about it. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention, but I started hearing the stuff about it. But other than that, no. I didn't even know what the premises of the movie or show.
Okay. It's a show. It's on Paramount. It's 8 of the 10 episodes in to its first season. And now it's by the same guy who does that show Yellowstone that finished. I've never watched Yellowstone, so I couldn't tell you about it. I know there was a lot of hype and obviously some mixed reactions on the finale. But if you like Billy Bob Thornton performances, you'll like him in this show. He's really great. He's basically he's Billy Bob Thornton who runs an oil rig. He doesn't own it, but he runs it for a guy who's above him, who's practically like a shareholder type of guy. And that guy is played by John Hamm. So, and John Hamm, if you remember from Top Gun Maverick, really good in Top Gun Maverick. So yeah, I definitely there's some great brutal bloody beatings in it too. It's very Texas-like, and it's been good so far. Outside of Billy Bob's really, really annoying wife, everyone else is really great. I mean, unfortunately, there's that exception, the annoying like ex-wife that's not an ex-wife, which you had to watch it to understand it. It's been great. It's been really damn great. So I would say you gentlemen should watch it. And I see Joe Dog had a question, says, do I like Wonder Woman Donna Troy? I mean, both are cool. It's a really quickly, but if I had to prefer one, Donna Troy. Donna Troy is my preferential character just because, and maybe that's the Teen Titans fan in me speaking, but I am a little leaning towards Donna Troy. And what's up, TZ? I see you there, buddy. So, okay. Gentlemen, I want to hear really quickly. We'll do a quick roundabout on what were the cool things you got on Christmas. We'll start with deleted scenes. Deleted. What were the cool things you got on Christmas from whomever?
Cool thing I got on Christmas. Well, actually, if you don't mind me moving about the cabin,
Not at all. Do away,
shaky
sir.
cam. Thank you.
It's
I
okay.
actually have it hanging up here on the coat rack that everybody always thinks is someone standing behind me. Who's not standing behind you? Sorry, folks, it's just a coat rack. No. All right, I actually got this hat right here.
Nice. Small waves.
From my
Okay.
boss. Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's kind of metaphorical because I've had a bit of a rough patch I'm trying to get through right now, but doing okay. It's good. It's good to have your friends around you, and it's good to be working with people who are friendly for once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Is
Yeah.
there any movies you scored, or do you plan on scoring? Like no one gets you, because I know you have
Well,
quite the physical media collection, like Fanzine, like our friend Tom Connors. Like there's not a single movie that Steven scored during this time.
Well, I did actually for myself again. Let me move about the cabin.
Oh, there we
plan
go.
this out
I got
better.
your attention with that. Nice.
Okay, so this is actually kind of sad that my local Dollar General has more physical media than any of the other stores here in the area.
That tracks,
Yep.
though. That tracks.
That tracks hard. Our man Madhouse is right with that.
He is. And so I picked a few things out
Ooh.
while I was in there.
Go on. Let's see
I
what
haven't
you
even
got.
unwrapped them yet.
Ooh. Now you got it to us. Right.
Your Hunter of the Future.
Okay. Well, no, what's going on in that one?
Well, basically think Conan meets Star Wars.
Oh, ooh, grand concept. Okay, awesome.
Because you start out. It starts out being this kind of sword and sorcerer, where this kind of action hero has to save the day. Then you find out he's from the future.
Whoa!
And spaceships show up. It's very weird. It's like they had like a Conan ripoff movie.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know how to end it, and then somebody says, "Hey, did you see Star Wars? Let's do that." So it's almost like it becomes two movies, but it's actually a lot of fun if you ever get a chance to see it.
I seen that years ago, and I can agree. It was one of like the most mind-boggling flips when it happened, because it starts off, he's right, where like it's like,
huh?
It's just cavemen and like barbarians and fighting people, and then all of a sudden spaceships, and it's like there's not even like a lead into the beginning. There's not a hint of like crop circles. It's just like spaceships.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's almost like the screenwriter got 2/3 of the way in, and then one night just okay.
It's like what they did to Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. They took out everything important and all the information that you needed to know about everybody, and went, "Yeah, this happened."
And despite all that, I still prefer how Superman was in that version. I'll say it. I'm going to be that guy. I'll say it. I still prefer how he was. Anyway, the only thing for me that Zack cut improved was Cyborg. Even though the actor is a Cyborg in real life, his role was improved. I'll give him that. His role was definitely improved in that version. There's no doubt about that one. Anything else, Steven?
Actually, I got a couple here that looked interesting. Hadn't heard of him, but I know how that 70s rock fan has been talking about Korean cinema quite a bit.
Oh, and he's been gaga about it. I wish he was here right now to be talking about. Him. That's like a sport for him to be finding the Korean stuff.
And this is a movie called No Tears for the Dead. That comes from the director of The Man from Nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's that cover. I don't know if you see it with the. That's probably better.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
I could say that. Yeah, it says dead.
And,
Something from the dead. Yeah, I see it.
No Tears for the Dead. And so you got a Korean kind of action gangster film.
Ooh.
They're comparing it to The Raid. So, and I know Man
Oh.
from Nowhere is good. So
Is it dubbed?
That's
Because I
definitely-
always love horribly dubbed Korean films. They're so fun.
I don't. And of course, the lettering is too small for me to see. But I don't know.
I'm
if it's
sure it
dubbed.
is. I'm sure it
I'm going to
is.
reckon that there's probably a Korean and a. There's usually like an English version. So
You
there's
know,
that.
many moons back, I got a Christmas gift of the Expendables trilogy, and the funny part about it was all in Spanish. Can you imagine watching, what's his name, Terry Crews running around with his giant bazooka, yelling his line, "Remember this shit at Christmas," but except in Spanish? It would be freaking hilarious.
You say that about Spanish. I downloaded Lord of the Rings: The War of Rohirrim.
Yeah.
I downloaded it the other day to watch it, and I started watching it, and I was like, I wonder if like part of this is in Spanish or something. I was like, I don't know, maybe it's whatever. I got like 40 minutes into it, and I was like, no, this whole movie's just been in Spanish. So I had to go and find the other one.
Oh, that is
But I
freaking
downloaded the
funny.
wrong one. But I'm like literally 40 minutes into the movie, have no idea what's happening.
Mhm.
I like words are very important in animation films because
Mhm.
things happen.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It is very important, but man, that is freaking funny, especially for something from J.R. Tolkien. That makes it even more freaking hilarious. I love to hear that.
It was in Russian. He goes,
So Lester, where'd you get that Sega Mega shirt? Because all I could hear is Mega.
That's where I was going with that when I saw it. It was actually from the website, and I don't know why. I don't know
Really?
if Orange Man or the Don owns the domain, but it's mega.com.
Maybe it could be something Baron suggested. That probably checks out because he seems to be more aware
This is what it
of
looks
stuff.
like. This is what it. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
hilarious.
I don't know. It wasn't a matter of me like this is how I'm showing my support, so to speak.
Mhm, mhm.
I just wish people weren't afraid to make fun of themselves. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you got to
if
put fun of
if
yourself.
I found a Kamala shirt being lampooning her, word
Mhm.
salad or whatever, however they do it creatively, I would
Mhm.
buy it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's what I think. Trump leaned really well into that, and I think that's why he got such a great reception.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, and that's why he got where he got. Led us to now we're less than 3 weeks into January 20th. So, Mr. Lester, did you get anything sweet for Christmas we should know about?
Yeah, it was a surprise because I didn't know what to expect from my siblings. I didn't really voice anything about what I wanted or what I didn't want. It's just because a lot of us, my brother's going to be 40 pretty soon, and it's like we all can afford what we want, and it's just about buying stuff for the niece and nephew more than anything else. But my sister did surprise me.
Sweet. Let's see it. Let's freaking see it, man. I can't wait to see from it.
This is the
nice.
X-Men 97 Cyclops.
Cool.
Oh.
Nice.
I'm thinking, I never really thought I identify with Cyclops, but in some ways I do. Just
Go on.
because, especially with the gals I dated, Jean Grey, and this is just based off my having watched the depiction via the animated series in 92, 91, whenever that was pushed. And, they talked about her being some very powerful mutant, but all I can think about when I think about having my Wolverine, I have a Wolverine bobble-like figure as well. and
Mhm.
it's like I somehow go for the quirky ones, and the quirky ones are drawn to me. And especially when it comes to Jean Grey, my only memory is she uses her power and then she faints and has that. I don't know if that moan is iconic, but it's like the first thing you think of when you think of Jean Grey.
You
Anyway,
know,
I mean,
it
that's
makes
not the first thing I think of when I think of Jean Grey,
Ah.
but
You
I
know,
wonder
for
if I can
me,
find that. I'm gonna find that picture
I
quick for you.
latched I've latched. I was a late bloomer to latching on to Cyclops. I couldn't. He was one of those characters. He kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you know who Eddie Guerrero is from wrestling, and I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. But when I watched WCW when I was a kid, I hated Eddie Guerrero. But then when I became a teenager and saw him with WWF, something hit me, and all of a sudden I fell in love with him. And Cyclops was that character. I couldn't stand him as a kid, but adult me really loves him. And when X-Men 97 came out early last year, I actually ended up not only taking a really big liking to the show, shockingly, but even
Yeah.
an even bigger liking to how well they respected Cyclops. And I was shocked because that show had all the red flags that it was going to be an
Yeah.
absolute disaster. We had heard everything about what was going on with Morph, and we heard about who was on, Bo DeMaio, who's obviously fired now. We had everything put in our faces that this is going to be a train wreck for the ages. And unlike stuff like The Acolyte or Joker 2, Folly a Douche, X-Men 97 actually ended up delivering. And best of all, Cyclops was awesome. And I mean really awesome, which is shocking. I couldn't believe it. I almost felt like I was getting punked. And can you blame me for feeling like I was getting punked? Look at the day and age we live in. We basically that's become our lifestyle, is getting punked. So it's nice to see Cyclops have such a great character arc throughout the season. It wasn't somewhere we got baited, early on, and then the rug was pulled out from under us at the end. No, he had a great story from beginning to end. I was really happy with that. It's my guy Mike. How's it going, Mike? Nice to see you, man. Happy New Year, sir. I know you've been going through a lot of stuff. I hope everything works out, man. But great to see you here. Thank you for dropping in. I hope you're okay. So, to my man, Madhouse Retro, sir.
Yes.
Did you get anything sweet for Christmas we should know about?
I bought myself a new graphics card and a bunch of other stuff and built myself a secondary rig.
Okay, cool, awesome. Now, what's a secondary rig for your computer? Go on. I'm pretty normie with this stuff, so
So my main gaming rig, and now my Plex machine that I use off my Plex server is running off a 2070 Super graphics card, which means I could have like 30 4K streams simultaneously play around the globe and it not be a problem.
Holy crud, dude, that's nuts. That's crazy, man. I like that though. Killer. I'm happy for you, man. And how's your New Year's Eve?
Good. I stayed home. I smoked and played video games and started. That's what I was going to talk to you about. I started reading Cataclysm Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay, the new Ultimate Spider-Man volume from Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the 2024.
Yeah, that's a
The one
Jonathan
that
Hickman
just
one
made.
currently. Go on. But do you like it? I know it seems that one's been a very interesting button of conversation amongst many.
Yeah. I mean, I have two. I'm only on the second book because I love the artwork a lot more than I'm liking the story. The story's kind of just like hopping all over the place at the moment. But the artwork's just insane. So I don't know. Can I share a screen?
Yes, you can, sir. Yes, you can. Oh no, dude! Please DM me about Hungry Boy. I hope he's okay. Please DM me and I'll respond to you later. Let me know what's going on with him, comic. All right, go ahead, whip your screen out, and we'll share it. Keep it PG though. But yes, no. So I don't know. As you're getting your screen out, Madhouse, my buddy Wes, he's got his own channel. You may have heard of, called Thinking Critical. Wes, he basically reviews Ultimate Spider-Man monthly for his channel. He's been doing it for the last year, and he talks about how great the art is. He talks about all the time how great the art is, but he said the story a year in has been, as you said, all over the place. He said when it's good, it's really good, but he said then there's times where it drags and it drags on.
Right. So yeah, that's what it is. Like when they're centering on like two specific characters and they're having a good conversation, it's great.
Mhm.
It's driving the plot a bit. It's good. But then they'll take those like 2 pages of like characters talking and go to a completely different set of people, not even related to what is happening. And sometimes they're even flashbacks. And it's like it takes you a second to even realize it's a flashback. So
Mhm.
it is poorly written, is how I will
Mhm.
say it. But this
Mhm.
artwork, like this specific picture here, that's Cloak and Dagger, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Like that's Galactus,
Mhm.
and it's over top of New York. So like,
Mhm.
but that just like the stunning artwork of that is just crazy.
I
And
think
I
this
think-
is Marco Cocchetto.
Yeah, I do believe it is.
I think it's Marco Cocchetto, which I do like him. He did great on Daredevil a few years back, and he's done some stuff, for the company throughout time. But yeah, one of my biggest concerns with Jonathan Hickman is he's great with he's one of those guys where he's really good with indie stuff. Look up his indie series called East of West. It's really good.
David Marcus, it says.
Oh, is Marquez. Oh.
Yeah, and then the
It's
writer is
Marquez?
Brian Michael Bendis.
This is original Ultimate Spider-Man. This is not the
Oh, is
newer
it the
one.
20? Oh, okay.
No.
Then this is the 2013 version.
No,
I thought they just
much
re-released
older
it.
than that. Much older than that. We're talking like 20 years back, much older. Which that's fine. This page being Marquez looks like something Cocchetto would have made. So I actually can't. I'm not surprised myself for mistaking this out because they are comparable. No, you should read the original OG Ultimate. As much as I rag on Bendis for the last half a decade, once upon a time he did something that was good, and this was one of those things. And on top of it, it was his own universe. And for all my complaints I've started to gather about multiverses in years past, I've started to at least appreciate what he did at the time with this thing. Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, it ended around 2010 or 11, no, actually I could be off my years, but it went a while. And that was before they brought in Miles Morales. Oh yeah, so this is from this is when I stopped reading. This is when I stopped reading, was once Miles Morales came in.
Like, so I don't care for this storyline that they have. So like for this storyline, like the Miles Morales storyline that most people understand is his father was a cop and blah blah blah. This one is like his dad is just a mutant hater. Hold on.
Okay, you're good, buddy. Yeah, for
There we
me,
go.
that was once they killed off Peter Parker. That was the no deal for me. I was just like, okay,
Right.
I could not do it. I mean, I know Bendis stayed on. He stayed on for a bit after that. I think for 3 or 4 more years. But that was kind of right. Yeah, right. Tease, that's not Spider-Man. That's my thing. He's not Spider-Man. He's Miles Morales.
So the reason I wanted to bring this specific picture up is because
take it away.
If you're looking at him, right, and I think I can do, yeah, we'll do that. Like, look at the just the artwork itself. Like, take away that he's Miles Morales and he's not Spider-Man. Like, ignore all of that and just look at the penciling and the details of. He has a suit, but like the suit's filthy. Like he's already been running around and doing stuff, and look, his face is still filthy underneath. And so, like that's showing me like this isn't like a Miles Morales. Like this isn't a Spider-Man like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's suit's so advanced at that point that he has filtrations in his suit, and like he still gets bruises, but like he doesn't get dirt or anything until after. You know what I mean? Like he's. Spider-Man is more advanced than this younger version of Miles Morales. And like this scene that where all he says is just let me save you. Like, even if you don't like Miles Morales, I think that is an absolutely stunning scene.
No, I'll give credit to the artists. Obviously it's clear it's an artist who knows what they're doing when they're making pages like this. That's for sure obvious. It's someone who understands, the material of what they're working with. I totally respect that. It's not my never been my character. I would say though, and I say this, Snow. Truthfully, you want to look into the OG original Ultimate Spidey. You will have fun with it. Trust me. You look into it where it started, where the original, because it is so much fun. And I was at the time I was over the Gaga moon about it.
I think I have it. Ultimate Marvel.
Jordan, he looks like soy based Michael Jordan. I think he meant to say Michelle Jordan. Joe Dog. Oh, that's too funny. Michelle Jordan. I've actually never heard that one before. And I lived in the city when Michael Jordan was prime time, 72 and 10 Chicago Bulls. I lived when in the city when that was going on. That was the era to be in for the Bulls. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry guys, getting my extra dose of caffeine. I'll tell you what, this drink has been mighty delicious. Yes, I know it is absolutely really freaking funny. So, Mr. Madhouse, I've been wanting to ask you this because I've not had a chance to, but I noticed when I was looking for your channel, I had to remind myself, oh, hold up. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. He is a Rumble guy only. Did you used to have a YouTube channel? What's the deal?
I do have a YouTube channel, like the channel that is under my name.
Mm-hmm.
That's my channel.
Okay.
But I don't post anything there anymore. I used to, but like it just wasn't worth it to me because all I did was live stream. So, and then I posted one review on a Wolverine's origin story comic that I read. But then I was like, nah, I didn't care too much. I wasn't getting the feel for it like I like with Twitch, and I guess the interaction is what I wanted. Like with Twitch and my Rumble was like I can interact with my chat and we can talk about things. But like on YouTube, it was just like post a video and wait for people to read it.
No, okay. No, I get it, man. Starting you, I can't even imagine what it's like starting a channel now because I know Steven's been on here for 2 years, I think. Lester's been on here for a year. I can't even imagine what it's like. So I started my channel in May of 2020. And I remember at the time thinking it was crazy just getting a channel started. I can't imagine what it's like now, especially with the way like they constantly change the system, the metrics, algorithms, you name the term that I don't understand. I know what the names of the terms are, but you catch my drift. It like you'll post a video and you're thinking, how is so and so only have X amount of views? And you know it's someone who's doing great, who is good at what they're doing. And you're like, this don't make sense. And you find, oh yeah, I didn't get no notification. I'll scroll through my feed and they don't even show up on my feed, dude. YouTube is maddening. Don't get me wrong. I love what it's done for my life and, for extra money and for the friendships I made. But dude, YouTube is crazy. I wish I could say I wish they could undo it all, but I always wonder if they had to undo all the changes, would it make things worse than ever if they did because of how much they have constantly changed things. Has that been something any of you guys have wondered? Like, would undoing it make it worse? Have any gentlemen thought of that? No, you guys are.
I was waiting for one of them to go, but like, yeah,
Oh, okay.
absolutely. Like, just based on a system engineer's thought process, when they do those changes and stuff, it's not like they keep the old stuff. Like they're replacing huge chunks of code. So like, I don't believe that they would back up that older code for any significant amount of time for any reason if the new thing is the thing that they're doing. So I feel like if they try to do that, it would take just as long to go back to those old changes because of that literally having to reinvent the old code. So I don't know, but yeah, I would say it would be very difficult.
What's up, Dustin? I see you there in chat. What's going on? Massgrave, Jaffo, Gascar. Nice to see you guys. And yes, D-Bud's right. By the way, Friday on Klobby's Comic Shop, we're talking classic Spidey from the original Stan Lee, John Romita Sr. era, issue 61 through 64, which, by the way, D-Bud, I already got my read on 61 in. So you better play catch up. Knowing him, he probably already beat me. Probably beat me already 100 times over, but I already got my read in, dude. I am freaking ready for it. So it's going to be fun. And also, if you haven't caught wind of it, check, guys, next week, Toxic Tuesday, training day, Denzel Washington. We got 3 straight weeks of Denzel, but from training day to Man on Fire to The Equalizer 3. There's gonna be so much Denzel. You're not gonna know what to do. I think Gary's like he's got the biggest chubby he's ever had from being on Toxic Tuesday. I know we get 3 weeks of Denzel. Seriously, like Gary, like I Gary's gonna look like. You guys ever see that South Park episode where they go to California Way because they're lacking internet?
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
see that episode?
Yeah, and his dad, you get so many internet minutes per minute, and his dad goes into the private area or whatever to get the internet time.
Oh, it's so good. It's so freaking good. Oh, I'm just going to get some internet. And then I think his wife walked in on him at the end, and he had just made a giant mess everywhere in the entire.
Yeah, it was just covered. That's a meme. Like people use that all the time.
I thought it was King Kong ain't got shit on me, not Godzilla. Am I wrong? I thought it was King Kong.
It's King Kong. Right?
Okay.
You can say right. Godzilla. It still counts.
That's.
I mean, either one is a boost. Like,
yeah, true. That's true. Oh, so
even if you could only beat one of them, like.
Really quickly to Massgrave. I haven't seen you on here in a while, which by the way, welcome back in case you did leave. I'd want to let you know in the channel I posted a few weeks ago my top albums of 2024 with 5 honorable mentions. Make sure you do watch that, sir, because I know you liked to see that particular set of line of videos from me, and I will post it for you in case you missed it. Because I know a lot of you guys in the chat have already synced it. Here you go, sir, Mr. Massgrave. Oh my god, yeah, Gary. Oh man, I actually know. I talked to Gary. I want Gary to come back on Toxic. I need to. I was gonna say I talked to him, but I realized no, I need to talk with him because I need that man back. I really need Backdoor Gary back on the show. Really badly. The dude is absolute mayhem. Steven, you've been with him a lot lately.
I have, yeah. I usually do the Saturday show with him, and sometimes Wednesday if I'm able to do it. But yeah, his show can get pretty crazy. It's kind of Toxic Tuesday light, if that's
Toxic
possible.
Oh, it's possible. It's very possible. No, Joe Dog. This one's name is Gerry. In our neck of the woods, we call him Backdoor Gary. Not Gary from the Rock. He's definitely not Gary from the Rock. Gary's way too straight for that. Gary's way too straight for Backdoor Gary, which sounds like a weird sentence to say in itself. Gary's way too straight for Backdoor Gary.
What is happening to this show in the last like 30 seconds? What just happened?
You gotta watch more Toxic Tuesday and you'll find out. I know you usually catch the Friday show, but trust me, when you watch Toxic Tuesday, you'll come out of a different man. You might have to take a shower. So as Steven, I know Steven's caught it. He's because I know he's got his own thing going on. I think Lester's caught a few of them before, but I think they could at least both verify. Watch that show, definitely makes you question your life.
So I think I have that Ultimate Spider-Man that you were talking about. It's the 2000.
Yes, it was around 2000 or 2000. I can't remember the exact year, but it was right around time because it was Bendis and Bagley. Bagley was the artist on there. That looks like Bagley's art. Yep. Toxic Tuesday is the home of homoeroticism. That is correct. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yep. Oh yeah, I remember these pages. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this art style, so I'm gonna have to get into this. So yeah, I definitely have this, so I'll have to read it.
No, seriously, read it. Please follow up with me, whether it's on here or just even you. You're welcome to DM me, man. I mean, you're a channel member. Please, like, don't feel like that you can hesitate. Like, oh, like even if I take a few days to respond, eventually I will. You can just ask 5 picoseconds. It may take me 4 or 5 days, but when I respond, I'm like, hey, yo, here's what's up, man. I got you, bro. Okay,
Right.
I will make sure I get to take you to the promised land, and then you're gonna feel like, what? Nick delivered on his homoeroticism based promise.
Oh my! What just happened to my finger?
Everything happened.
What you do?
So I'm going to go now.
No.
Yeah, what you need to do, Madhouse, is go back and watch the Hard Target episode, and watch me destroy that in about 5 minutes.
I love
I'm
Hard
surprised.
Target.
I'm surprised you didn't get thrown off the air for that one. We were
Dude,
bad. We were very bad.
Jean-Claude Van Damme with a mullet. You know what? He should have teamed up with Chuck Norris, who had a mullet. Yeah, what was that movie that Chuck Norris had a mullet? I'm already forgetting the one he had a mullet in.
Delta
God, the Canon film. God, chat, help me out. What was the Canon film Chuck Norris had a mullet in? My brain, I can easily cheat and use Google, but I'm trying to use muscle memory here. But Chuck Norris had a mullet. It wasn't Invasion USA. It wasn't
Forest Warrior.
Unless they had it in a few. Yeah, so he had it in a few of them. That wasn't the one I was talking about, but maybe he had it in a few of them.
Oh no, I found it. I have like 6 on my page. I found which one it is.
Say the names.
Firewalker.
Oh, so he's okay. So Norris having a mullet was a trend in life. Okay, I did not know that. My lack of Norrisy is coming out.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't.
It's okay. There's a one where he Hitman. I remember Hitman. That was the one. Yes. Oh boy.
Yeah, you did that on the show, right?
We did. Now take his mullet in Hitman and combine that with Jean-Claude Van Damme's mullet in Hard Target, and that's like a war of like that's a war of the mullets right there. When you see those two, like, dude, holy crud. Look at all that 80s hair. And then if you want to add the cherry on top, take Michael Douglas from Black Rain. His perm, his 80s perm from Black Rain. That's like the majesticness era of the great hairs of the 80s. Michael Douglas, Black Rain, Chuck Norris, Hitman, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, Hard Target, which Hard Target was mid-90s though. But still, he looks like he's from the 80s. So we're going to give it an 80s credit, though. We're going to give it an 80s credit. I seriously, Meadows, you should watch the Hard Target episode. It was special. We'll just say that. It was special. Yeah. it was very, very special.
Did you guys see Screen Rant? I shared it on my X page, but on Screen Rant like 2 hours ago posted
What happened?
that Aaron Pierre has confirmed he's currently training for his role as Jon Stewart in the new #Lanterns.
Oh, okay. No, I know he got casted as Jon Stewart. I did not know about that, but okay, cool.
If you pull it up on X, you see the picture they posted.
Okay.
If they literally had posted a picture of him shaved, I honestly don't know how to make a better Jon Stewart bone structure.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Let's take a look here. You want to post the link put it in the private, and I'll just pull up the page because I do want to see this. This actually is very fascinating information. You know what? I guess we can use that as a segue to talk about where we think the DCU is going to go, because that has obviously been a hot button topic. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen right now. And thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right. Someone's
It was
got
only a couple
background
hours
noise
ago,
going
so
on.
I was like, "Yeah, it's my roommate
Oh,
screaming."
okay. Let me get that going. Okay, share cam. Okay, let's see. Got it. All right, here we go. All right, now let's pop it up on the screen. Okay, so it says Aaron Pierre confirms he's currently training for his role as Jon Stewart in Lanterns. For me, this character has always radiated class. He's always radiated charisma, strength, identity. So I'm very happy to be bringing to life and life. Well, I'll tell you what, I can verify on a few things. He has always radiated strength. Jon Stewart is supposed to be a very stoic, very actual strong man, not just a label that's been overly used just for everyone. But I don't get what radiating identity means. But let's just look past that and just keep at the keyword strength. Now, I hope he definitely gets in shape.
I do
You
know what that
okay?
one is.
What does that mean?
So when he means by identity, it's he's a black man, and Jon Stewart for a long time was a large identity in the black community for a superhero.
Okay.
So that's what he I would imagine that's what he means.
Okay. So let's just go with that then. And I hope he delivers. I'm not gonna be like placing any bets or like, let's just say, unless I see a trailer that really, really wows me. I hope he's good. I'll check it out when it comes out. Like, I've been rewatching the Green Lantern animated series from 2011, was it? And I'm like 4 or 5
That was
episodes
like
in.
2 seasons, right?
Only one. It should have been several.
Okay.
But seriously, if you, I don't know if you ever finished it. You should. If you haven't started it, start. It is really great. It's serious. It's so freaking good, and definitely one of the last great DC Comics animated shows that we had been. No, I'm glad you mentioned this because it seems like this show is gearing up. I saw that Jason Momoa got obviously officially announced as Lobo. Obviously, that's a casting that makes sense. That's like, Snow is white, Water's white, Peter Parker's Spider-Man, pizza is great. Like, it's one of those
Jason
things.
Momoa is Lobo. Like,
Yeah, it's one of those things. And I've already heard some people. Oh, well, Jason Momoa could barely act. Like, you're acting like Lobo. Acting like Lobo requires acting too. Yes, Momoa is not a great actor. You are right. However, acting like Lobo doesn't really take. Maybe for some it might take acting, but Momoa already just is a masculine dude who just needs to say a bunch of dude bro lines. It kind of checks out. Now go ahead.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like saying he's a bad actor. Like the most words I ever saw Lobo speak in a comic were like to Superman after he beat the crap out of him. Like like Lobo just says some shit talk the whole time. That's what he does.
He's not a big talker, so he's a guy who says a few things. He'll obviously. I did read his Christmas special with my buddy Wes. Really fun stuff. I curious to see where that goes. My only concern is will the writers write Lobo correctly? Or are they gonna reduce him to being at the mercy of Supergirl? That's my only concern with that, because we need Lobo to be done as the main man, the badass man. Memo was made right. Lobo is really a good fit for it, and that's something. To be fair, he's always wanted to be Lobo. He's wanted to be Lobo for a long time. Let's be fair.
He said when he got the call originally to be Aquaman, he thought he was going in to read for Lobo. Like in one of the interviews he did, he literally goes, my agent just told me to show up to the place to do the interview or the casting call. And he goes, and I went in there thinking I was going to be Lobo. And they're like, all right, now read this. And he goes, what?
Look at this post here. So, sorry. Don't get me wrong. So this is from just a random general fan saying in 2022, don't get me wrong about Momoa, Aquaman, but I mean, people saw the writing on the wall way back when. I think this is right around the time when they announced that they are going to be canning the, let's just say, current what was at the time current iteration of DCU. It lets you know
Yeah.
that all the movies that you're about to see for next year essentially don't matter. But everyone just saw from miles away. This guy was Lobo. He should have been it from the beginning, but I really hope he is delivered justice. Even if I don't let's just say I don't particularly enjoy the movies, as long as the people who love Lobo get their Lobo on screen. So what do you think, Madhouse? Do you feel like do you think there's a future here for Lobo?
I think we missed the window with Momoa. He's older now. He's out of shape. He doesn't get into shape as quickly anymore.
He's not buff anymore? What?
No, look at some of his red carpet photos or like Instagram pictures. He's chubby now. Like he was chubby in Fast X. He was chubby when he did that new Minecraft movie. Like he's a chubby bunny now. Like he can't
but he can still get back in shape though.
Yeah, but he's not
I'm
the
sorry.
Dothraki king. Like
I still think of Momoa as that dude on Baywatch. I don't know if you all remember.
Nailed it, Lester. Oh, I remember. No, go on, Lester. You are onto something here. Go on.
I still remember him as that. He wasn't as yoked as he had gotten to. I don't know when he got yoked, or even with the beard. I still remember him with that baby face, and he was like a Frosh lifeguard in that Baywatch series. I think it's either Baywatch or Baywatch Hawaii, maybe like intersection of the two. But it's like I can once you are like entrenched in a certain series, you got to do something that would kind of shake that out of my head. It's the same thing for me and Hasselhoff. I mean, I still have that memory of him being Michael Knight, and then, all right, I'll give him kudos that, to some he's Mitch Buchanan on Baywatch. I don't know, but that's what Momoa is to me. That's why I never took him seriously as an actor.
And that's fine. We don't need to take him seriously. Momoa and Lobo is not a character to take seriously.
Yeah.
Lobo is a character to have fun and roll with pun intended, a character you roll the punches with. And I'm sure he'll be punching a lot of dudes wherever he ends up.
So, in my eyes, Lobo's character himself is an antithesis of the opposite of what he is fighting with the DC, he's rude and callous, unlike Superman. He's brutal and murderous, unlike Batman. He plays with his food like Flash does. You know what I mean? Like, and he literally goes out of his way to take people's willpower away from them. So there goes the Green Lanterns. He's like Lobo himself is the ultimate antithesis of every Justice League member. And that's what makes him such a good character, because he can go toe to toe with each one and they can go toe to toe with him. And that's that not that overwhelming like scaredness you get from like them fighting Darkseid, who's like way beyond whatever level. Like Lobo's literally just this another guy down the block that's like, all right, I'm gonna put your britches in a second. Hold on. Let me show you how this really works. And they need that. They're literal gods on this planet Earth that need that person to come through and just smack them upside the head and be like, you're not that good. Like
I agree. I really agree with you, Madhouse. Yeah, that is exactly what's expected from Lobo, and we need Lobo to be that character to counterbalance that. But also, even though he is, I guess you could say he's one of those characters who works under the moniker of anti-hero, he needs to be that guy who's gonna do all the weird, twisted, crazy stuff. But we don't also want him to be watered down. I do personally believe, maybe this is the optimist in me speaking, I do believe he has enough time to get in shape and bulk himself back up for the part. And especially if he's signing up for us, I highly doubt this will be a one and done. Now, let's just pretend that this is a long-term thing. He's got the chance to be able to be ripped for years to come. And let's not forget, too, before Paul Rudd got casted as Ant-Man, Paul Rudd wasn't yoked.
Yeah, he was getting flabby. He was flabby in what did he do right before Ant-Man? That the Lay's commercials
What?
And,
Well, there
he
you
did-
go.
He did like chip commercials with Seth Rogen, and they made fun of each other for being fat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and look at Chris Pratt too. Chris Pratt got shredded, and
Right.
and he's maintained it. Let's be fair to Pratt, he's maintained it. And even what he did is, I still need to watch it, but I've heard from many friends in our sphere and my younger brothers. They tell me that he's great in The Terminalist. I hear The Terminalist is great.
That was a really
Yeah,
good
what I
movie. It
told
was
you,
really
there you
hard to like follow at some points.
Okay,
But it's not a start and stop movie. Like, don't put a little bit on, watch a little bit, and then go away. Like,
Mhm.
you'll never know what's going on when you come back.
Okay. DK Bones asked really quick, will Lobo be the villain superhero? I don't know for sure. Right now, we're kind of just like speculating, having fun with what this could be. I do know it's based off a story, more or less, from a recent comic from a guy I'm not, let's just say, too fond of. So, and I hope, and I don't, I'll have to ask friends of mine who read it if the character was in the book or not. But either way, whether it was accurate to the story or not, this is still a great casting. And as obvious as it is, sometimes you still gotta acknowledge a right move being a right move. And I'm trying to at least say, okay, you know what? This is a good decision. No, once again, this is big credit where it's due. So we'll see where it goes. But you know what, Steven, I don't know if you have any investment on Lobo. Do you have any? If so, what are your thoughts?
Well, based on what everyone has told me, I'm not really versed in the Lobo character past what little tidbits I've been able to pick up here and there.
Okay.
But everybody is saying Momoa's perfect for Lobo, and it should have been him from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't doubt it. It's like everything else. We'll see. But I find myself when it comes to comics, I've been turning away more from the big two and leaning towards independence, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that the Superman movie will be good and DC will right the ship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
we'll see.
who's to
I'm not
say?
holding my
We'll
breath
see.
on it either.
Me either. No.
None of us should hold our breath. Obviously, I'll see it opening day. I'll be on Midnight's Edge that evening on the After Dark show to talk about it, I'm sure. So, there'll be thoughts right away. I'm going to say, because, people are going to ask me, and it's one of those things where even if I say it right now at this point, I'm not going to say, we all know that's a lie. So I might as well spare myself a lie that someone will, let's just say, clip me on, and then I see it later, changing my mind. I will see it. I know I will. Will I enjoy it? I hope. I mean, it's not just even the money you're giving up; it's the time. And to me, the time is, in some cases, is even more important than the money. So yeah, I want to enjoy it because I'm giving up my time for this. Especially if I'm going to be talking about it a few times over, I would like to enjoy it as much as possible, rather than dread to be talking about it as much as possible. Because if I dread it, I'm going to want to do no more than maybe 2 shows about it and then be done with my life. But not my literal life, but what I mean, done with talking about the movie per se. So then, Steven, that are there any, I'd just say, movies in 25 that I was gonna say 24, huh? Look at that you are looking forward to. Is there anything that's got your optimism, whether it's a big movie or a small movie?
Well, Mission Impossible, of course.
Okay.
Because they're saying this. The rumor is this might be the last one with Cruise,
Mhm.
which I'm not holding my breath for that.
No,
I think
God,
if you back up an armored car full of money, I think he'll do another one in a heartbeat. But I'm looking forward to that. Flight Risk looks good with the Mark
Yes.
Wahlberg that Mel Gibson's directing.
That did look good.
I'm curious about F1 with
What's F1?
with
Go on.
Brad Pitt, where he plays a Formula One driver. That looks good. Alex Garland's movie looks good. Warfare.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
on. What's
So
that about?
let me look at my to the letterboxed. I've actually been formulating an anticipated list.
Oh, this is a Jack Carr movie. And you made a list.
Yeah.
Then please tell us the list, brother. I want to hear what
Okay.
Steven's looking forward to in hopes that he
Let me
likes.
see. Most anticipated list. Okay, like I said, Mission Impossible. 28 years later is on there.
Of course.
Warfare, like I said.
Mhm.
Let's see. Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein with Oscar
Hold
Isaac.
on.
That looks good.
When's that come out?
That's later on in the year.
Later on in the year, okay. And it's like, is it supposed? What kind of Frankenstein movie is it supposed to be? Because this is actually news to me. So, please, can you fill me in the gaps on that one really quickly?
Yeah, I'm looking that up now.
Okay.
Well, it's basically. I don't know how close to the story they're going to stick, and how much of it is going to be Del Toro interjecting his own sensibilities into it, which would be perfectly fine. I think it'll be great visually. But I don't really know that much about it because I think they're still like finishing that up. But and again, it's going to be a little later on in the year. But yeah, he's been wanting to do it for a while, so I'm hoping that we're going to get the fourth Gerard Butler Fallen movie, like Olympus Has Fallen.
I know what you're talking about.
Of those.
Wow.
So yeah, those are movies that are on my list so far. We've also got the new Final Destination movie. We're getting another Final Destination movie, and luckily, Tony Todd was able to finish the scenes before he passed. Whoa. So we're going to get Tony Todd one final time.
Oh, that's nice. That's real nice, dude. And, Tony Todd one last time.
Yeah,
that's gonna mean more than ever.
Yeah. So those are the main ones, but I do have one from this year. That can I share this?
Yes, of course.
Let me see.
Make yourself at home on this stream. You're on these member streams all the time, brother. So please make yourself comfortable like you live here. You just let me know. Hey, I got a screen, Nick.
I can't do that. YouTube will shut the stream down.
Okay. So this is a movie by Chris Rupert, who's on the Bad Movie Night podcast. And he did a film called Transient.
Okay.
That's currently you can buy or rent on Amazon Prime. Full disclosure, I am a credited associate producer on this movie.
Whoa. Okay,
and,
dude.
I was almost in it, but I kind of chickened out at the last minute. But I'll pull back, and I don't want to mess up the movie. It is a sci-fi horror film. I'll take that down because I don't know if you're going to get showing the trailer here, but it's going to be it is a sci-fi horror film, and it is about a tech entrepreneur who loses his young daughter in a car accident at the beginning of the film, and he creates this device that will allow him to relive his memories. And of course, those memories start to manifest themselves in real life. It's kind of, and then that's where the horror is going to start coming in. It's a very slow burn movie. It's about an hour and a half, but man, I got to see it finally for the first time tonight, and it's very good. It's very hard to find. So go to Amazon, rent it, buy it, and then go over to Bad Movie Night and let Chris know that you saw it. Because
Dude, I'm
yeah,
sold. You got
it's
my attention,
a good
brother.
one. Like I said, it's a slow burn.
Mhm.
Very, very. The word is cerebral. It's very cerebral until it isn't. And I don't want to give too much away, but there's definitely some horror fans are definitely going to like parts of this movie too. So if you like your science fiction and you like horror, it's a good melding of both. And I'm ecstatic over how it turned out. It's very good, very low budget, but man, they did a good job with it. And I was confident. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have backed it.
Oh,
But now that I've seen it, it's a good one. It's very creepy. If you like, it's I can say this because Chris has said this on the air. It's think Black Mirror meets Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
okay. I remember. I never watched Black Mirror, but I remember Eternal Sunshine was really good. That was a really good flick.
Yeah.
That was really good. I think I saw one in theaters 21 years ago. Holy crap! It's already been 21 years. That's crazy, man. That's wild. Steven, I made you a moderator. If you want to post a link in the chat for that movie so people know, at least they can put on their tabs to check it out later, so that way they can help them remember it. But you're allowed to post that away, my friend. You can please go nuts. So that way you can promote that movie, because it's good that we got more movies coming out on the lower budget. Speaking of lower budget, and I don't know if you got a response or if any of your guys got a response, but did you guys see the Critical Drinkers short movie recently? The Ryan Drake is actually pretty good. I gotta say, it's actually pretty good. I was surprised. I actually ended up enjoying it. The action was really good in it. And very vulgar. Oh, it was very vulgar. I was like, okay. It reminded me of somewhere between a 2005 through 2009 action type of movie, like some made in the 2000s. What do you think, Steven?
I loved it. I back that too.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Yeah. So I'm kind of getting both of these movies that I helped to back finally out kind of at around the same time as each other. So it's great. Nice. But I had a lot of fun with it. I am a big action fan anyway. So the Ryan Drake series is right up my alley. And so it was fun seeing how that turned out to get this little kind of side story, because it does, from what I understand, it does fit in from the timeline into the timeline of the books. I think it's between the third and the fourth one or something. But it's a lot of fun and very fast paced. I was reminded. I was reminded a lot of the early episodes of 24.
Okay.
Before that show kind of got into a formula that it couldn't get out of, but dude, it's like, and I've said this on my show, before. It's YouTube has become like the new cinema, and then looking into being involved. No, I just simply help back. I let the filmmakers go on and do their thing. But backing movies like Transient, like Rogue Elements, like Tom Conkle's Island in the Stars that he's working on right now. Milk and Cereal that Curry Barker and Cooper Tomlinson made. Excellent horror film. I kind of fell down this rabbit hole this year of YouTubers who are making their own films, and this is what what I've been talking about is instead of complaining about what Hollywood is doing, we have all the eyes on us right now.
No,
We need
I
to
agree.
become
It's
that
nice.
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's like I say on my show: be the competition.
I agree
You
strongly.
didn't like that movie. Go out and make a better one yourself.
That's right, man. That is
That's the way I
right.
look at it.
Really quickly, Eric K, how you doing, buddy? Happy New Year to you, sir. I love the clips that you're sending me in the DMs. Yes, guys, they're straight clips, I promise. Eric just likes sending me funny, crazy stuff. It's great. It's delightful. No, I'm glad between Rogue Elements, this transient movie, it is really cool that we live in a time like this. Granted, for all the flaws we have with the big mainstream, for those who are ready to make the proactive change and seek stuff out, I think it's awesome that we're like, you know what, hey, let's go out and try to at least give this a shot, because the worst that comes to happens, it doesn't work out. But it's nice to see guys who are just saying, you know what, let's go for it, man. I mean, we can sit here and talk about how bad it is all day long. It's good to have that conversation, but we also definitely got to have that extra, like, let's just go for it, man. Like, yes, there's definitely greater chances of loss, but bear that. I mean, you do miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as cliche as the saying is. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, at least we get to live with that moment. Straight clips. God, Devo's waiting for that opportunity.
So you talked about this movie, Transient, that's a memory movie. There's another memory movie coming out this year.
Ooh, go on. Take it away,
called
Manos.
It's called Mickey 17. It's going to star Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
It's based on the book called Mickey 7. And basically what it's about is this guy that lives in a space station. He's an engineer. I got to get back up to the page so I can.
Yeah, whip it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring this one down. Oh, hold up. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Oh.
Nope.
I'm still getting used to the Streamlabs side of
I'm
things.
like, what am I doing? I got
to get used to this. As you're getting that going, I'll answer Max's question. So I have a question. Are we getting all the old classic monster films? I know I heard about that Wolfman. I know I saw the trailer for that. I wasn't too wowed by the trailer. Now, I don't think it looks as bad as others have made out to be, but it doesn't look like anything to really look forward to either. I don't oppose the idea of getting more monster movies, but what I like for them, and we can talk about shortly after Madhouse has a screen, I would like to see more original stories on those monsters rather than have them begin again for the millionth time. It's kind of like, let's not have Batman begin again. Let's just have Batman continue off somewhere else in his life rather than starting over with Alfred getting his gadgets and watching his parents get shot. But okay, Mickey 17, April 18, 2025 with Robert Pattinson. Okay, cool. I when he's doing indie work, I like it. He's one of those guys where I like him when he does it. I feel like he's definitely one of those guys I appreciate when he does indie work. Anything that's on the big corporate side, I've not been wild about, but indie work wise, Pattinson's A+.
Right, yeah, and so this is based on the novel called Mickey 7. Pattinson stars, I'll just read the thing, as the titular character Mickey, who is an expendable or disposable employee on a human expedition to colonize the ice world of Niflheim. So he takes on dangerous missions that often result in his death. The number marks the amount of times the character dies in the story, with Bong saying that he killed him 10 more times in the movie than he did in the novel, making it 17. But whenever Mickey dies, he generates a new body that holds most of his memories. So not all of them, but most of them. But it's like, you got to watch the trailer for it, because the trailer for it is like just entertaining enough that you're like, this could be a good way to kill like an hour. And it's just I think you're right. It's like that. It's just that allure that he brings to those indie films where he's not having to perform under such a strict yoke of what he can and can't say or how he can say it. and he's able to actually act. I think Robert Pattinson's a great actor.
I do too. He's one of those guys that, some people when they do stuff based off a established IP, it just doesn't work out for them. And you know what? That's fine, because if he has something of his own, which once again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I loved him in The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe. I thought that was a really good flick. I definitely will look forward to checking this out. You've got my interest in Mickey 17. I'm happy to, between this transient. Yeah, I'm happy. Look at, we're looking at an hour and 20 minutes, and we're like, hey, look at all these options we have coming this year, and it's the first day of the year, and we have things we could talk about. Very, hey, this has potential here. Let's hope that this can deliver. So I like seeing the site. Shows you, hey guys, there are options out there. The difference is it isn't just gonna be put in front of you. You gotta go and seek it out.
Find it.
We actually did the homework for some of you. So now for some of you, you don't have to do homework, because a lot of it, we got you bros covered. We got all 17 of you dudes in our chat covered. See, we appreciate you dudes being the dudes. Lester, I don't know if you have anything you've caught lately, but maybe I guess we'll ask for conversation's sake. Is there anything you're hoping to get out of the year in 25, whether it's a life thing, a pop culture thing? Is there anything out of 25 you're hoping to look forward to? Personal, whatever.
Well, I'm of two minds about the whole Superman thing.
Okay.
I know the trailer didn't really leave much. I think a lot of my biggest thing, just thinking about it, is nobody knows how to make a good commercial.
Mm-hmm.
There was no buzz, and I've said this in other streams. I said there's no hype, at least hype where we are hyped to want to camp out like we used to in front of the theaters, or can't wait for it to come out, can't wait to watch it. There's none of that going on. But based on what I did see about the trailer, I'm hoping it's not going to be as they say, it's not going to be an origin story. And I'm getting sick of people trying to rewrite beginnings. Like when I saw the preview for Mufasa, don't need that.
No, definitely did not.
I am looking forward to the Superman movie, because they said it was filmed in IMAX, or it's optimized to be viewed in IMAX. So I'll actually view it in the theater.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but fun fact: the guy that voices Mufasa in that movie, Mufasa, is Aaron Pierre, the guy that's going to be playing Jon Stewart in Lantern.
Oh, no way.
Just to throw that out there. So if you wanted to go and hear him talk.
I hope I am not going to watch that, because I'm not going to watch it. Not because of it's him, because I did see him in that Netflix movie Rebel Ridge. I don't know if you saw it, Steven or Nick.
Not yet.
That was a solid flick. He was fine in that role, and but I'm just saying the other movie, for whatever reason, hopefully it's a better go around with. I think there's an upcoming Tron movie that I might be.
Ooh,
it's a standalone sequel.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So I know that's a very confusing term when I say it that way. So imagine a standalone sequel is like in the series of movies. So 1, 2, and 3 all go together. This one's in the same universe and has the same characters, but might be either way ahead or way after. Like there's a large gap of time that isn't present in the other ones. So it'd be like if they made a 9th Harry Potter movie now, and it was the 20 years later, or 18 years later, or whatever. That would be a standalone sequel. It's the same people, but it's so far that their mannerisms and things like that aren't probably going to be the same.
Okay.
As it is.
I mean,
but yeah.
After watching the original Tron, I was just, it's kind of rethinking how I perceive. I think it was Tron Legacy is the one with, was it Olivia Wilde? I'm trying to remember the people who were in that one.
Yeah, that was that one, and The dude from Number 4.
Oh yeah. Was it? Are you talking about Gosling? Or
No, not Goslin. I will look it up quick because that's gonna
Okay.
hurt my brain.
That's fine. While you're formulating, I will acknowledge my buddy Eric's super chat. Eric K for $5 says, "In Sparkle Batman, why does Batman just start in his late 30s?" I mean, I guess if you want to get on a technicality, Eric, he technically didn't start, but I get what your point is. He's on year 2, but yeah, he's still in his young formative years. So I guess in a way, he's still kind of starting compared to how long Batman has a legacy. And even if you want to go with him still starting and roll with that as an argument, he was. I'm not gonna blame Pattinson, but I feel like the role was honestly just at the time I was actually looking forward to it, but in retrospect, I feel like it was just a big mismatch. So I don't fault him. I still like him, but it was just not the right role for him. And hopefully, his indie career continues to pick up where his mainstream career didn't take off so much. But and that happens. Some guys are just like that. They don't gel with those type of movies. And I do have friends of mine who like his movie, The Batman, even though I'm not wild about it now. I did enjoy the Penguin show. I did enjoy that. I did really enjoy that. I was shocked that I enjoyed that. If you had told me at the beginning of 2024 that I was going to enjoy a show on the Penguin, I would have never believed it, especially when it had that crew, that continuity set. But here we are.
Would you have believed who it was under the makeup if you weren't told?
I mean, even
'Cause
though I
would.
knew it,
Yeah, like
yes.
it was so good.
No, it really was, and he was great. I can't remember the lady who was Carmine Falcone. She was great too. It was, and what's great about the show, it actually had a good ending as well. It actually had a good ending, and also the villains were, by the end of the show, they were a lot more despicable than ever. They didn't, like, you thought, oh, they're gonna make it seem like they have like these characters they want you to care for. No, at the end of it, you come out of it hating them more than ever. So I gotta give credit to Colin Farrell to succeed and finally making villains great again.
Right. That was like my biggest thing. Like the whole time I'm like, all right, where's his redemption arc going to start? Where's his redemption arc going to start? And it never happened. And I was just like, I was hooked. I was hooked because I was like, this is the Penguin. This is why you only get, 5-10 panels of a villain in a comic, because they're just bad. That's all they are. There's no redeeming quality. They just want to cause chaos and pain and murder. And that's what they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this show was a huge quantifier of that. And I really hope people see that. And I hope this continues in a good trend towards something better.
I hope so too. I'm going to be catching Creature Commandos tonight. My life is not looking forward to it because it has not been, for my personal sake, enjoyable. Thank you, Juggalo. He says, Kristen Milioti. Thank you, brother.
Okay.
No, she really was a great villain. I get like, man, she was equally as despicable. I don't know if you caught it, Steven or Lester, but I would actually give the show a big recommend. I would give it, like, it was worth the watch. And the fact that it did peter off at the end too, there's a lot of stuff where it starts off good, especially in recent years, and it falls apart at the end. No, this show didn't pull out the rug from under you. It kept your feet still stay on the rug, but you're like, oh wow, this is crazy. Yeah, I was so happy with that. And I don't know how you feel about this, Madhouse, but if they never do season 2, maybe I'm kind of actually okay with that.
See, I was just about to say that. I was like, I want them to continue the trend in the way that they're directing and producing content. I don't want the show to get a season 2. And here's why. Firefly did so well and became such a cult classic in such a way that film was altered in the way that they produced those sci-fi shows.
Mm-hmm.
And they only had 1 season. It was the fans showing up and saying, this is how we want things done because they look pretty and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fans need to come out for this show. If they don't come out for this show, I think it's just going to be another 10 years until someone else has the balls to do it.
I really think that's legal. I think it's something. I said something to the effect.
Go ahead,
It's like
Lester.
nobody wants to be. No one wants to have a sense of timelessness. And to do that, you can't touch it, and it's like you can't capitalize off of it. I mean, if you are, you better do a dang good job, possibly better than the original. But
Like the
some
thing.
things they just have to end.
Yeah, not everything needs a continuance. Yeah, there's, as you know, we said at the beginning of the show, there's an exception for every rule. The Thing being one of them, and I guess I can now add Nosferatu to my short list that ranks in the single digits. But in the broad scheme of things, yes, I do agree with you in general. Yeah, we definitely need more original, and it shows you people will respond not only when there's original, but if also something is good that they can get genuinely excited about, whether it's a villain getting his own show and making him a villain through the end, like the Penguin, or a remake like Nosferatu, or the fact that the Sonic movies are continuing to do better and better, and they actually listened to the fans, and it paid off. They are doing great 3 movies, and which I haven't seen the third one yet, but I'm happy for those who have seen it. They seem to really like it.
You want to add another villain movie that stayed, I think, incredibly true to the core of what this particular villain's morals and morality are? Kraven the Hunter.
I didn't want to see it because to me, Kraven needs to have Spider-Man in it. But if that's true, assuming that you're right, I do respect that they did that.
90% of us, like when we think of Kraven the Hunter, we think of that older, in his late 40s, 50s, like he's been a hunter for a while. He is a hunter. He goes after Spider-Man because he's one of his beasts, whatever. But he's always very moral about what he does, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like he hardly ever has like casualties like outside of his own crew. Like he doesn't go out willy-nilly hurting people. He only goes he's a hunter. He hunts. Like he wants the next
sniper.
big thing. Yeah, he wants the next big beast. And this show or this movie, I think, did an incredible job giving a younger version of that steadfast morality at the beginning. Because you can see as he gets older, he's a little looser on things and some things aren't, whatever. This show shows him start as that, like, these are the way things are and this is how I do them. And at the end, he has like almost a full 180 where he's like, no, I am the hunter. This is my job. I do this. And there were some things that are a little wonky, but you're going to have that in any kind of live action when you try to depict things that aren't real. Like, I don't want to give a spoiler, but
no, it's okay. You can spoil it. I'm probably never gonna watch it. I'm one of those guys that, as a Spider-Man. Oh, I know. I saw the preview. As a Spider-Man fan, to me, there should not be a Kraven movie, and I say that's Kraven be one of my favorite villains. But if you did enjoy it, don't let anyone take that away from you. That's your life experience. If you got something out of that you enjoyed, that's you, man. Don't let how I feel about it, change anything.
No, and that's why I just wanted to bring it up because I just wanted to let you know, like, because I remember we talked about it before it came out, and then I was like, I got to let him know because, like, I watched it and I was like, I went into it going, I'm not going to see Spider-Man. This is dumb. I don't want to watch this. And then 5 minutes into the movie, I'm like, all right, what's happening next? Okay, and there's like the perfect amount of Easter eggs. Like if you pay enough attention to certain things, you can see like a different universe, but like still in that Spider-Man universe, the same kind of villains' names are popping up. Or not villains' names, but like just people's names that you can remember, and like certain places they go to, or things they do, or they walk by a crate and it says Oscorp on it. Like little tiny like nuggets that you like watch and you're like, oh man, that's really good. But it's so tastefully done. It's not like crammed down your throat like they did with the Eternals when they tried to just cram as much as they could into one 2-hour movie. This isn't like
what a
that. Like
terrible
everything's
flick.
very tasteful, and
Mhm.
some of the best parts of this movie is when no one's talking. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. I mean like in the scenes where like they're just
Sorry.
I love
communicating.
you. Shut up. You know.
Shut up. Now I like you even so much more. So go on, finish your thoughts. Sorry, that was very funny.
But not in like a they need to be quiet way, but in like a when they're communicating on like a more physical acting level, like when they're walking through a building or like how they're like interacting with each other in the scene and there's no words. That's like there's real chemistry on this movie set, and it's hard to find movies right now that actually portray that and make you think, okay, those characters, that could happen.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate your thorough honesty. Authenticity is most appreciated on this show. That is what it's about. Like anyone who watches Clobby's Comic Shop knows, I have the Common Nerd on my Friday night show every night. And let's just say him and I always don't see eye to eye in certain DC properties, but I still respect the hell out of the guy. And I hope one day I meet him in person. He's my friend, and he has a place on a show as long as he wants to be there, and he invites me on his shows. So that's what's the beauty of this particular unique cars. We can be on the shows and have that engagement and still be cool with each other. So with that all said, we're gonna wrap things up, but I'm gonna let these gentlemen plug whatever quick plugs that they have, if they have any. And we will say goodnight to everyone. But I want to thank everyone in the chat for being here, whether it's on YouTube or Rumble. Eric K., thank you for your $5 super chat, sir. And I want to thank my 3 Dolph Lundgren members for taking the time to come on here and be the biggest panel members we've ever seen on Men ever. I feel like you guys deserve a little showdown in a little Tokyo just for taking the time to be here. Also, the fact that we have 3 members here and they're all Dolph Lundgren members, there's something about that feels a little extra special.
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
So yeah, that Colin's wife. Anyway, Steven, sir, what do you got coming out in the next day or two?
All right. Well, tomorrow I am going to be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and we are going to be watching Never Cry Wolf from 1983.
Okay.
Later on that night will be my show Coming Attractions, formerly Weekend Update. I changed the title. I'm changing some things on my channel, doing a few things a little different. It's going to be the same show, just going to be rebranded, and that's where you get to find out what I'm going to be doing for the next week or so. And it's kind of a chance for me to touch base with people. I'm also let's see what else. Unscripted, my Sunday night show is going to be returning. That'll be at 8 p.m. This week's episode is going to be called For the Record, and it's going to be a Q&A. It's chat Q&A. Whatever the chat wants to talk about,
nice.
Is what we're going to talk about. And then Monday night, Tuesday night will be the Mystery Movie Night podcast. Where I'm going to be joined by Sin's Corner, Kyle Corwith, and Off the Cover. And we're going to be talking about Monday night's Mystery Movie Night selection, whatever that may be. I think it's going to be Den of Thieves 2. We'll see. And Live from Sparkwood and 21 is going to be returning pretty soon as well. I don't know if it's going to be next week. We're still talking about that, but as soon as I know, everyone else will know.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Steven. Thank you for being here, sir. Thank you for being a Dolph Lundgren member. And it was awesome to hear more input from you on the show. I love when I hear you get to have stuff on movies. I always feel like I get to learn something a little new from you, sir. So I appreciate your time and your contribution. So I can't wait to have the next member stream. And I was able to pull one off in November and not take several months to get again with the first day of January. I try to see if I can make sure we can make it happen again for February. So fingers crossed that I can pull that off. But sir, thank you again. Happy New Year. Lester, you're on the ups and ups of the world. I don't know if you got anything coming up for a channel, but if you just want to have any quick last thoughts before we call it a night, please, whatever you want to say. And by the way, Steven, go ahead and plug your channel in the chat. Well, Lester takes the floor. That way, now that you're a mod, I gave you power.
I have the power.
Go ahead, Lester. It's all you, buddy.
I'm still enjoying my workcation. I go back home in a few days, and that's when I'll probably push out what I've got. I've recorded things, I just haven't stitched or uploaded them to YouTube. And I normally, whether it's because of just my mindset when I'm down here, like spend time with family. If I can spend them with friends, do it. And usually that will take time away from stuff about the channel. It's only because time with friends and family are more important, and it's not because I'm down in San Diego, okay, I gotta take a break and whatever, but I gotta find time to really relax. And at least there are a couple of things I'll look forward to film wise. Kind of taking advantage of the luxury of still having my day job, so I can kind of self learn programming, but that may down the line force me to self learn higher levels of math. That I don't know if I'll even get to that point where I'll have to do that, but it's just something down in the horizon that, not that it's going to change my profession, but with all the Linux content I put up, it's taking me into an interesting direction and just trying to deepen my understanding and share that to the people who consume my Linux content, apparently. So there's that.
All right. Awesome. No, thank you, Lester, for being here. Thank you for giving your time. Happy New Year to you, sir. And once again, your shirt's freaking awesome, man. I love it. I love it. I love
What
it.
is it? I got it's huge. I got blast processing in my veins.
Every one of us just hears the tone.
I know, right? Thank you for being a Dolph Lundgren member as well, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I love when I can have you on here and chat and get to hear from you, sir. One more time for the final time. Happy New Year. Thank you to Madhouse, who is a YouTube member and I think a Rumble member too. My first Rumble member as well.
Yeah,
sir. I know you got a Rumble channel. Why don't you tell us what you got coming up in the next day or two? And thank you, Steve, for plugging in Lester's channel in the chat too. By the way, guys, yes, plug in. Yeah, thank you for doing that.
I can
whip it out for us, Brett. Retro. Before we say goodbye.
So I do Let's Play games. So right now we're playing a lot of Black Ops 6, mostly because I just want to get to Prestige 3 and then I'm gonna quit. Because the game is just horrendous. It's buggy and servers are terrible and skill-based matchmaking is just a horrible experience. So I'm gonna get back into the next series of game we're gonna be playing is Doom, and we're gonna be playing all of them in order to get ready to play Doom: The Dark Ages that comes out this year.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Hey, well, thank you. I look forward to it, and I will make sure I rate some of your chats to see how you're doing with your progress in the games. Thank you for being here. Let me know your thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man when you start reading that stuff. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thank you for being a Dolph Lundgren member as well. You are huge. You are huge. You're fantastic.
What you calling me, thigh?
I called you a fucking guinea homo from the 15th fucking century, you dickhead.
I can stick you in my ass, small fry.
Yeah? You sure it ain't too sore from last night?
I gotta give you an extra clip on the way out, but thank you seriously for supporting the channel, man. Thanks for your time on here. Love hearing what you have to say. You, sir, have a magical night and happy New Year to you. And to the chat, I'll see you all on Friday for Klobby's Comic Shop. If not, Toxic Tuesday training day next week. And the rest of you, Midnight's Edge After Dark tomorrow night. Thank you. Goodbye. Good fight. And good night.
There's no sense in going up half-cocked.
Oh my God, the cock.
Sexual discrimination.